Hi, my name's Nicola and I'm a singer-songwriter from Manchester, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story behind the song Champion. So when I was working on this forthcoming EP, I had several themes that I was kind of thinking about, pondering on. I wanted it to be transparent, I wanted it to be real, and I wanted it to be one of my best works as any artist and any creative wants to do. And so I remember going to the studio with lots of ideas buzzing in my head. And then I said to the producer, let me hear some instrumentals and some of the work that you've been doing. And so he was playing the catalogue, and you're listening, you're like, nah, nah, nah. And then this one song, it was the melody in the song and the chords that just hit me, and I started to write in my head the chorus, and it was, there's power in his name, there's power to raise the dead, there's power to heal, there's power to touch, I'm more than a champion. But lyrically, at the time, it didn't feel like it quite fit. And again, singer-songwriters, I'm sure you'll agree with me, when you're at the starting point of writing a song, sometimes you'll have this inner conflict of, does this make sense? Is this where I want to go? And so I was having all these conflicts in my mind, but the song kept developing. And the producer was kind of bopping his head, and he was kind of like, I'm feeling this. And then it was like, I'm taking this song, I'm taking the instrumental, and I'm going to work on it. And literally, it was one of those songs where I was trying to imagine how my audience would connect with this song live. There's one thing when you hear a song on the radio, there's another experience when you're live in concert, and then there's another experience where you're in your bedroom and you're listening to the song, or you're watching it on YouTube. And I was thinking about all these different avenues of where people would experience this song. But one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to let people know that wherever you've come from in life, whatever your experience has been, you can come back from it. And when I think of people like Anthony Joshua, one of the heavyweight champions of our time, people were really cheering him on when he was winning. And the moment that he lost a fight, people were criticising him and saying all kinds of things. And one thing I remembered is that it's not the amount of times someone falls down that counts. It's actually the fact that you can get back up again. That's what differentiates a normal person and a champion. And I really wanted people to be able to connect with that part of the song and that inner champion within that we all have. And so when I started to delve into the verses were really about the underdog and focusing on the underdog and the importance of that person knowing that the story doesn't end there. And so the characters that you hear in the verses really embrace the fact that your story isn't limited to your circumstance, and anyone can become a champion. And then when I was talking with the producer about the musicality of the song kind of starts with this R&B flavour, and then it just takes you back to my heritage, which is Jamaican. And I don't want to give the whole song away, but there's definitely a lot of vibes in there, I'll put it like that. And it's just bringing people to a point where you've gone from this R&B type flavour, and then when the chorus hits and you hear that beat and that bass line, but you're hearing that there's power in his name, and it's just a real celebration of the gospel and the power of the gospel, that God can raise anything that seems dead. You can look at a plant and it's dormant and it looks like there's no life in it, and then you add water, you give it a bit of sunlight, a bit of nutrients, And all of a sudden, this growth, this explosion of growth and life just begins to come back. And that's really what Champion is about. It's about the underdog coming back and facing life as a champion. And me personally, I've had my own personal struggle where I was tested and tried, but the fact that we are here, the fact that we have life, the fact that we have this testimony just proves the living power of Jesus. And fast forward, the verses are written now, and we're looking at the bridge part of the song, which for me is always the exciting part of like the baking a cake process, where you put all the mixture in and you've got the chocolate, everything, and then it goes in the oven, and it's the baking process that kind of ties it all together. And I kind of see the bridge like that. And I was talking to the producer of the song, who is Ibe Giant Killer. You guys will know him. He's worked with so many amazing artists and created so many incredible songs and collaborations, and I'm privileged to be able to work with him on this project. And he sort of mentioned, what about if we bring in a reggae dancehall artist on the track? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we got in touch with Minister Taff. Shout out to Minister Taff. I have admired his work for several years. I just love the depth in which his lyrical content stretches you, and his vocal delivery is just unmatched. And so we brought him on the track, and honestly, when I heard the first take, I was like, I'm sold. I don't need anything else. And it's the part of the song where people just go wild. So yeah, I'm really proud of what we created with Champion, and my prayer is that as the song is released, that you will recognize the inner champion on the inside of you, and you will celebrate that come what may. You'll go into this next year with every bit of assurance that you will rise and you will do and fulfill the purpose that God created you for. So thank you so much for being on this journey with me, and I hope you enjoy this new song, Champion. I am dead on the cross for missing. Me can't lose right, I know me have to win. The way me happy right, I know me glad back.